Good day, everyone. I am Calabim the Wolf, the second reporter of Group 7, and my topic is all about multicultural curriculum. But before that, let me first read to you the desired learning outcomes. Define what is multicultural curriculum. Identify the dimensions that school could adapt. Identify the six goals of multicultural curriculum. Define what is indigenous curriculum. Identify the several dimensions that serve as a framework. Describe how indigenous curriculum may be considered using the implementation of the following strategies. What is multicultural curriculum? A multicultural curriculum aims to promote cultural literacy and cultural understanding. Usually, this is done through cultural awareness activities by knowing the different costumes, songs, literatures, foods, and introducing them to different historical places of different countries as part of daily lesson. Banks 1994 identified five dimensions that schools could adapt when trying to implement a multicultural curriculum. These dimensions are very useful in developing cultural literacy and in promoting cultural understanding in the schools. The first dimension is content integration. It deals with the extent to which teachers use examples and content from a variety of cultures and groups to illustrate key concepts, principles, generalizations, and theories in their subject area or discipline. Second is the knowledge construction process. It consists of method, activities, and questions teacher use to help students to understand, investigate, and to determine how implicit cultural assumptions, frames of reference, perspective, and biases within a discipline influence the ways in which knowledge is constructed. Examples of these activities include discussions and debates. Students can engage in discussions and debates about a topic, which can help them to gain new perspectives, clarify their understanding and the materials, and learn from one another. Third is prejudice reduction. It describes lessons and activities used by teachers to help students to develop positive attitudes toward different racial, ethics, and cultural groups. The fourth one is equity pedagogy. Exists when teachers modify their teaching in ways that will facilitate the academic achievement of students from diverse racial, cultural, and social class groups. The last dimension is an empowering school culture and social structure. Is created when the culture and organization of the school are transformed in ways that enable students from diverse racial, ethnic, and gender groups to experience equality and equal status. There are many ways in which a multicultural curriculum can be developed and implemented. Beneath 1999 proposed a multicultural curriculum focusing on six goals. The first goal is develop multiple historical perspectives. This strategy gives students the experience of taking a perspective as they represent an individual's point of view in a discussion based activity. It provides students with an opportunity to explore how factors in a person's background, context, or experiences can shape the way they think and feel about a historical event. Second is strengthen cultural consciousness. By strengthening cultural consciousness, students are able to develop empathy, respect, and appreciation for different cultures, which can lead to improved social interactions and academic outcomes. The third is strengthen intercultural competence. It involves understanding and respecting cultural differences, communicating effectively across cultures and adapting to cultural contexts. Intercultural competence helps students and teachers to recognize and appreciate diversity and also to avoid misunderstanding, conflicts, and stereotypes. Fourth is combat racism, sexism, and other forms of prejudice and discrimination. It involves actively addressing and challenging discriminatory attitudes, behaviors, and systems within the educational setting. This can include promoting diversity and inclusively in the curriculum, providing resources and support for marginalized groups, and creating a safe and welcoming learning environment for all students. Fifth is increasing awareness of the state of the planet and global dynamics. This involves educating students on the complex issues impacting our world, such as climate change, environmental degradation, human rights violations, and economic inequality. The last goals is build social action skills. These goals involves fostering a sense of civic engagement and empowering students to become agents of change in their communities. These can include developing skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, and leadership. Following these ideas is important to develop teaching strategies and instructional materials that promote the development of cultural literacy and cultural understanding among teachers and learners. So now let's proceed to another topic, the indigenous curriculum. The idea of an indigenous curriculum was a product of a vision to make curriculum relevant and responsive to the needs and context of indigenous people. It links the curriculum with the society's cultures and history. It values the importance of integrating indigenous knowledge systems of the people to the existing curriculum. The author's earlier studies on indigenous curriculum and provided several dimensions that serve as a framework for the development of an indigenous curriculum. There are four dimensions that serve as framework for the development of an indigenous curriculum. The first dimension is construct knowledge so that young children will understand how experience, personal views, and how other people's ideas influence the development of science concepts and scientific knowledge. The second is use instructional strategies that will promote academic success for children of different cultures. The third is integrate contents and activities that will reflect the learner's cultures, history, traditions, and indigenous knowledge in the curriculum. The last one is utilize communities' cultural materials and human resources in the development and implementation of the curriculum. So that is the fourth dimension that serve as a framework for the development of an indigenous curriculum. Specifically, indigenous curriculum may consider using the implementing the following strategies at the school level. Indigenous curriculum may consider using the implementing the following strategies at the school level. The first strategy is integrating contents and activities that reflect the learner's cultures, history, traditions, and indigenous knowledge in the curriculum. The second is using the local language as the medium of instruction for similar subjects like math, science, social studies, physical education, music, values education, and home economics and livelihood education. The third is involving community folks and local teachers in the development of the curriculum. Fourth, developing local instructional materials and learning outside the classroom by utilizing various community resources that are available for conducting observations and investigation. The last is using instructional strategies that are relevant to indigenous learning system. As a form of innovation, an indigenous curriculum is founded on the way of life, traditions, worldview, cultures, and spirituality of the people, and it is a pathway of education that recognizes wisdom embedded in indigenous knowledge. This indigenous knowledge is very influential to the development of young children. It is embedded in their daily life since the time they were born. In an indigenous curriculum, the first frame of reference for developing a curriculum must be the community, its environment, its history, and its people, according to Pauline year 2006 to 2013. That's all for my report. Thank you and God bless.